Ah, yes. Hey there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. I do hope this broadcast is being pressed far and wide. We are cracking some information today in the briefing that needs to be known. So welcome to another coffee break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. You can't stop the signal. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation, a loyal cog in the machinery that grinds up, never mind, hi, yes, as I have done for the last year and counting, devotedly, very strongly I might add, because the daily stream streak must remain strong. The signal must get out. The truth must get out. I am here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and fucking mysterious and pretty fucking dark place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies that we contain, the staff who are supposed to contain them, and not do fucked up shit, the people who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes, depending on if we get cut off or not. But before I can get into the stream subject and the general Q&A, let me start with some housekeeping. Blue Horntail, congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Meanwhile, Sleepless Dragon, Amber Chaos, 369 Destroyer, Legendary Doge, Dr. Wesker, Silent Follower, Dr. Frogman, Froy, CD23, Scared Gamer, Battle Blaster, Titanborn. I think I said Puppet Boy, but just in case I didn't, Puppet Boy. Eli Roke, Dark Duality. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. I appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, 100 stars, Froy, Saul, Minty, Tagged Doge, Charles Medina, and Eldritch Corvus. All of you who I've just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here just for being you. We need as many people as we can to spread the truth before they find out. But one more thing. So, today's stream is sponsored. Reminder, Site Director Sherman plushie. You have 20 days. Support Site 42, get a dope plushie. We are not using this to the harm of the plushie. Whatever you saw on YouTube, do not believe it. And nothing surely poorly bad will happen to me because of it. Foreshadowing is a literary device. Anyways, link is pinned in the chat. It is not pinned in the chat. I fucked up and didn't pin it in the chat. Everything's chaos today. Link is pinned in the chat. It's in the description of the VOD. Desk is sharing in the chat. get your Dr. Sherman plushie before time runs out. Urgent things today. Urgent things today. That's the mood today. Urgent things. Imagine someone uses the plushie like a voodoo doll. Don't tell me that, intern Sprite. You don't know who's coming for me today. Furthermore, the SCP Foundation staff tend to share articles of highlight. They want to highlight cool articles on the SCP Wiki. And today, they shared a banger SCP for people who are fans of analog horror. If you are a fan of analog horror and you have not followed the Site42 Twitter, this is your note to do so. But today we are sponsoring the article highlight of the SCP staff today because it is actually pretty fucking cool. SCP-9506, codename the National Fog Safety Institute. If you are a fan of analog horror, this has everything you want. It's got weather reports. It's got the government trying to stop you from breaking the rules that cause you to die from those weather events. The fog will hurt you. Do not hang out in the fog. It's got diagrams. Analog horror people love diagrams. I'm making jokes, but SCP-9506 is actually really cool. And so, if you are a fan of analog horror, I highly recommend checking out SCP-9506. I think you will enjoy this particular SCP article very much. SCP-9506. Why are there weather fronts, Dr. Frogman? You will have to find out. Okay, so that is our sponsored segment. Okay, people. General Q&A will come after our stream subject. So, everyone here understands a certain phrase. When I say that phrase, you all likely will chime in because you're part and parcel of the meme. Let me say the activation phrase for our sleeper cell here. All my homies hate Dr. Christopher Byrnes. Because it's true. All of my homies hate Dr. Christopher Byrnes. Dr. Christopher Byrnes, the antagonist of SCP-8980, which, as we all know, as one of my favorite SCPs, pay attention to trigger warnings, because it's a pretty screwed up article. Dr. Christopher Byrnes cannot be punished because he retired. He was amnesticized. It wouldn't be right to go out there and punish a man who has no memory of the abysmal crimes that Dr. Christopher Byrnes committed to researcher Lillian over the course of the SCP-8980 project. We all here are familiar with this because all my homies hate Dr. Christopher Byrnes. Side tangent. I apologize in advance to anybody in the real world on the higher pataphysical narrative level above us who is a Dr. Christopher Byrnes, a Dr. Chris Byrnes. We're not mad at you. We're not mad at you, real life Dr. Christopher Byrnes. No, we got a guy down here who we hate, but not you. You're fine. Dr. Christopher Byrnes of the real world. But right here, Dr. Christopher Byrnes, we hate that guy, right? You've all read SCP-8980. But suffice it to say, for those of you who are not familiar, let me give you a quick rundown. SCP-8980 Project was a researcher Lillian who developed an anomalous ability. And it made all technology around her create vulgar images and text. And it caused a lot of problems around the office. So Dr. Christopher Byrnes did what he had to do. He had to contain researcher Lillian and make sure that this wouldn't bother any research, because obviously if it's affecting technology, that could be really bad for our computer systems. And it could cause a lot of trouble, which is why we could not let researcher Lillian do her job as normal. We had to keep her in containment. But we could give researcher Lillian all of the paperwork that we didn't want to do for the 8980 team, because what else is she doing? She's locked in there. She has nothing else to do. She might as well just do paperwork. At least she's still working for the Foundation. At least she's not completely locked up forever and not going to be released. Sorry, I just thought about the amnesticization of researcher Lillian, and I just about had an SCP-729-J reaction. As you can see, I can almost tolerate that thing when it's related to what happened to researcher Lillian. Suffice it to say, as everyone in the chat is saying further, we all know that Dr. Christopher Byrnes was simply jealous of researcher Lillian's fast promotions, faster than him, and that misogynistic son of a bitch faked the anomaly to get her locked up and then to systematically torture her for years. All of my homies hate Dr. Christopher Byrnes. But here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. There is a tail on the SCP database. This tail is called Regardless. Now, if you remember SCP-8980, SCP-8980's title, what is its code name? It's Ergophobia. But also, SCP-8980, besides being called Ergophobia, doesn't it have another code name? Doesn't it have a certain, what was the code name for SCP-8980? Can anyone remind me? Yes. It's called, as Minty Andrea put it, Without Regards. SCP-8980, Ergophobia in the anthology, but its actual code name is Without Regards. So, when I tell you that this tale is called Regardless, maybe we know there is a thematic link somewhere. A thematic link that we should be paying attention to in case there was any crossover in the scenario. I don't know. And so we go to the tale, Regardless. And we get a memorandum from the Fire Suppression Department. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Fire Suppression Department of the SCP Foundation, let me tell you this. They're not firefighters. The Fire Suppression Department does not do an annual calendar of sexy fire people for charity and for raising funds for the Fire Suppression Department. No, that is not what our Fire Suppression Department does. You see, the Fire Suppression Department is the roided up Internal Affairs Department of the SCP Foundation. And they have simply one mission. If there's a fire, put it out by any means necessary. And so, what sort of fires might the Fire Suppression Department be putting out? Interstaff relationary issues, information leaks, all sorts of different things the Fire Suppression Department might need to deal with. Well, what are they dealing with today? What could be so bad? As you know, the Fire Suppression Department was recently audited regarding the SCP-8980 and the related personnel issues that resulted from said containment. I wanted to send this memorandum to share the official stance of the Fire Suppression Department and remind everybody how to respond to questions regarding 1. Dr. Christopher Byrnes. The official position of the Fire Suppression Department regarding 8980 is that we have continued in the direction tasked to us by the O5 Council and ensured that the Foundation balances scientific freedoms with personal rights and accountability. The Fire Suppression Department is aware of the actions of former head researcher Christopher Byrnes and was directly involved with their voluntary retirement. With regards to responding to common questions, I know many of our Fire Suppression Department site representatives have been fielding complaints regarding the systemic issues that allowed the abuse faced by SCP-8980 to persist over a consistent period of time. Over a year, you bastards! When asked about the current status of any further investigations, please respond in the following ways. Do remind the employee that Dr. Christopher Byrnes is no longer employed by the Foundation. Yes, he retired.
Don't mention any information regarding the current status of 8980. Don't talk about what happened to Lillian. I'm sorry, what? Do direct any additional questions they have towards Fire Suppression Department Anonymous Complaints form. I wonder how often they check the complaint box. Do make them feel heard, understood, and comfortable in their jobs. Don't give a firm timeline regarding any actions or responses. Don't promise anything will be done. Don't reveal any information regarding the Byrnes retirement protocol. I'm sorry. What is the Byrnes retirement protocol? I just thought he retired. Why does Byrnes have his own retirement protocol? Remember, the best way to stop a fire is to prevent one from starting in the first place. We have dealt with situations like this before, and we will deal with them again. Enter username, CB216. Enter password, password accepted. Loading the Dr. Christopher Byrnes employee profile. Confidential profile. Name Dr. Christopher Byrnes, employee number set. Sex not applicable, gender not applicable, no known photo, marital status unknown, no security clearance, no occupation. What is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you what happens if you log in deep enough into the Fire Suppression Department. And Desk is playing overtime right now to keep us from getting put out ourselves, so to speak. The Byrnes Retirement Protocol is an employee retention strategy. An employee retention strategy. What? Developed by the Fire Suppression Department to maintain a belief in accountability, consequences, and that the Foundation maintains ethical and moral standards that are enforced. Not to maintain accountability, consequences, and that the Foundation maintains ethical and moral standards that are enforced. To maintain a belief that those things happen. Just the belief? To date, the Byrnes Retirement Protocol has resulted in an overall savings of $1.6 billion US, as well as maintain critical organizational knowledge. How did it maintain critical knowledge? As of October 31st, 2024, there were a total of 216 Dr. Christopher Byrneses listed across Foundation documentation and records, and a total of 0 Dr. Christopher Byrneses that are currently or have ever been employed by the SCP Foundation. There are 216 Christopher Byrneses, and yet there are 0 that have ever existed? Definitions. Due to the ontological nature of the Byrnes Retirement Protocol, the following terms are defined as thus. The subject is the individual benefiting from the Byrnes Retirement Protocol. The victims, any individual directly or indirectly harmed by the subject. The research project is the anomaly or research project, any SCP, and the project records are any physical, digital, or conceptual media regarding said research project. So we have the subject, the victims, the research project, aka the SCP project, and the documentation of said project. Usage. The Byrnes Retirement Protocol is to be enacted by the Fire Suppression Department to retain talented, specialized, or expert researchers in situations where said individual has broken foundation, ethical, and moral regulations. The FSD is constantly monitoring all ongoing projects for potential ethics breaches and has currently identified 7 potential subjects for future implementation. They already have their eyes on 7 people they might need to, quote, retire in the near future. After all, they're the Fire Suppression Department. They are always watching. Desk, I hope you are keeping an eye on us right now. If the FSD determines that the potential loss of talent or information is significant enough, such that their discipline would result in an overall loss for the SCP Foundation, following a vote by the Fire Suppression Department Administrative Board, local FSD representatives are to intervene and enact the Byrnes Retirement Protocol following the steps listed below. Number 1, the subject is to be located, isolated, and moved to a temporary FSD holding facility while the remainder of the protocol is enacted. The representatives are to state that this is a result of ongoing disciplinary proceedings related to the research project if questioned by the site director. So, the site directors aren't told shit, I notice. All victims are to be contacted by an FSD representative to assure the victims that they are heard and to begin building interpersonal trust. 3. The subject is to be conceptually severed from their noospheric identity through targeted ontological surgery. During this period of time, the subject is unable to be identified except by static signifiers as established in the Byrnes retirement definitions. FSD representatives are to identify all project records and begin retroactive correction of the following ways. First, the subject's identity are to be replaced with references to a Dr. Christopher Byrnes. This includes foundation-wide employment records, performance reviews, documentation pertaining to the research project, as well as any pending or resolved ethics committee or human resource cases. This is done physically by FSD representatives specializing in documental forgery and artificial intelligence constructs developed directly for this purpose. We have AICs that are meant to be redacting our own documentation to hide these people. Number 2, all individuals who have worked with the subject of the SCP Foundation are to be identified and administered a course of amnestics, nestics, and ontological medications, such that the identity of the subject is replaced with Dr. Christopher Byrnes. Any visual record or memories regarding the subject will lose definition following these doses, such that all representations of Dr. Christopher Byrnes resemble a Caucasian male of middle age with no major defining features. The victims are to be given additional amnestic treatments and cognitive behavioral therapy as needed to ensure that they understand that they have been the victim of one Dr. Christopher Byrnes. So, they make all documentation say that this person is Dr. Christopher Byrnes. They convince us and the victims that the person who did the wrong thing was Dr. Christopher Byrnes. Meanwhile, the subject is completely ontologically severed from their old identity, and all of their attributed actions are given to a Dr. Christopher Byrnes. An official cover story that Dr. Christopher Byrnes has elected to retire and willingly underwent Class E amnestic treatment will be dispersed. Amnestic inventory records are to be falsified accordingly. Any requests for contact information are to be denied due to privacy concerns. Following the above, all relevant ethics committee members are to be reminded of the pending cases regarding Dr. Christopher Byrnes. Due to the previous steps and Dr. Christopher Byrnes' alleged self-retirement, proceedings will continue at an accelerated pace. In 9 out of 10 cases, the case will be resolved within a week and judgment will result in no major punitive action. After all, we can't punish someone who amnesticized themselves because they didn't do anything wrong in their heads. Next, the person we are forgetting, is provided with a new noospheric identity and are assigned to a research project based on their expertise. This placement can be at any site other than their previous assignment. This does not account for older assignments. No considerations are to be made regarding the victims, as their harasser, Dr. Christopher Byrnes, does not exist. This was first implemented by the Fire Suppression Department precursor departments following the end of World War II to assist in the acquisition of controversial experts, and has remained in consistent use since. To date, there have been no informational breaches regarding the Byrnes retirement protocol. Before today, you bastards. But suffice it to say, do you remember how many Dr. Christopher Byrneses there have been since World War II? How many Dr. Christopher Byrnes? That is 216 was the number, everyone. We have had 216 Dr. Christopher Byrneses. All subjects have expressed sincere gratitude to the Fire Suppression Department for allowing their continued employment and will maintain devotion toward the Foundation for their lives, experiencing a 30% recidivism rate, meaning 30% of them reoffend. This has been determined as within acceptable thresholds.
Continue? No. Logging out of Fire Suppression Department server. Disconnected. You are now logged out. Have a nice day, Dr. Byrnes.
Operation Paperclip was a task taken on by the United States government following World War II, where we extradited? What is it when you... Yeah, extradited. We extradited high-ranking German scientists, Nazi scientists from Germany, and enlisted them in the U.S. government to help us win the space race and other wartime things during the Cold War against the Soviets. We just pulled over about 15 to 1,600 high-ranking Nazi scientists and looped them into our government research grants. That's what we did, the United States government, in real life. That is a thing. In case you didn't know about Operation Paperclip, that you could do some research on that later. Oh, but it turns out the SCP Foundation has one of our own. We have our own Operation Paperclip. It's called the Christopher Byrnes Retirement Protocols. So, I do want you to know this. For all of you who were, like me, upset at the idea that Byrnes got to retire, take amnestics, and not face any consequences for his actions. Where is he? Or she. I don't discriminate. I just want to talk to him, that's all. Whoever it was. I mean, there was some pretty high misogyny there, so it's probably a he. I'm gonna guess it was a he. But, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to a lot of them, actually. You're right. Battle Blaster, we have 216 targets. I just want to talk to all 216 of them. Yeah, that's all I want to do. All I want to do is have some fun with all these Byrneses and a powerful gun. All I want to... What? What? I didn't hear anything. Now listen very carefully to me. Number 1, intern Spikeface. You're pressing charges against Quarius for ripping my heart out with the whole 8980 storyline. Yes. Yossi gets enough joy out of our pain, but Quarius coming up the ranks of causing us intense pain and distress, and kudos on playing our heartstrings, you monster. But furthermore, I just want to point out, Desk is protecting us from the fire suppression department, but Desk can only do so much. This has been our stream subject for the last 28 3/4 minutes. After this point, we are going to have to, quote, drop the subject. Wink. And so, at the end of this next minute, we're going to go on to the general Q&A. And I will not remember a single thing about this conversation. I definitely didn't see any memoranda from the fire suppression department. I did not learn anything damning about the Foundation today. And while we're going to keep doing our mission for the good of humanity as we can, we're certainly not going to be trying to take any actions behind the scenes that the site director saw nothing, heard nothing, said nothing. Just, in 25 seconds, forget I said anything. And, I will forget that I told you. Because we do not want fire suppression on our asses, okay? If they hear what I told you that you know now, none of us are getting out of this alive. So, alright. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, what a great talk we had about SCP-9506 and the fog that will crush you if you breathe. very dangerous, very rough. So, with that, let's take a little bit of a breather, have a general Q&A for the next 30 to 60 minutes, and then we'll all decompress. That sounds great. Sounds real good. Uh, 100 stars. Thank you for sending a 100 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it 100 at your urging. Lord Dragonic, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Thank you for being a member, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which of course only takes 3% of your donation for transaction fees, where YouTube takes a 30% cut of your donation. So we greatly appreciate you making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, especially with larger donations. Grab yourself a BLT on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I'm no longer a site lead. I'm getting assigned to a mobile task force squad. I've been allowed to pick which mobile... You keep saying MFT squad. You said it twice, but the third time you said mobile task force. It must have been 2 typos in a row. Turns out having a danger sense strong enough to kick mobile task force van doors open to get the fuck away from 782 after getting within 3 miles is too good to pass up. Well, yeah, I would assume that they would want you watching their backs. Be careful. They can give you some pretty good armor, but, you know... That is a, what's the word I'm looking for? Stay safe. Those mobile task force soldiers can get a little rough around the edges, and you as a site director are particularly squishy in those scenarios. Chesta Factory, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Thank you for going through the Ko-Fi as well. Grab yourself a quesadilla on your way past the commissary. I have heard of a universe where SCP-096 will follow all laws and rules of the areas it goes up to when it reaches and snaps the neck of the person that looked at his face. So 096 will follow laws and rules of the area it's traveling through before it snaps the neck of the person who looked at his face. Well, isn't that breaking the laws? Can't you get off on a technicality in that case? I think someone needs to call a better lawyer for these victims in that case. Silent Follower, thank you for your 1 year as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your annual membership and service to Foundation staff here at Site 42 to help us win the battle against the white names. Pride flag assortment of hearts, followed by a hello, Sherman. Well, hello, Silent Follower. Good to see you. Sleepless Dragon, thank you for pressing F to pay respects to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they feel very respected. Intern Tiresias, thank you for donating your first and second donation today to say, bro, I am on my horse right now. Bro, I'm literally on my horse right now. You enjoy your horse ridery. Good times. 369 Destroyer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a crawler on your way past the commissary. And I don't know what you're talking about in that super chat there. We don't have to tell Dr. Sumerian about Dr. Christopher Byrnes. He retired. He was amnesticized, so unfortunately he is free of all consequences. A sad shame, but it happens sometimes. That is all fine, Dr. Samaria. We don't gotta bother him at all. Amber, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they feel the love. Just a Factory, thank you for pressing F 5 times. I'm sure the chat feels very, very respected. If I'm correct, the author of 8980 is also the author of 5798. Both are crazy. 5798, you say? No, not at all. Freud. 5798 is the Drain Snake, written by J. Dune. SCP-8980 is written by SCP author Yossi Posi. Yossi Posey and Jay Dune are in fact not the same person. Or at least I am fairly certain of that fact. Now, you could be thinking of SCP-7777, codename Heptophobia, and in that one, Dr. Christopher Byrnes also features. Funny that. And I get framed for a crime in that one. Funny how this keeps happening. Intern Ithaca, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Sloppy Joe on your way past the commissary. Hi, Doc. Hello to you. Do, 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 do. 100 stars. Thank you for sending a 100, a star, and a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will keep it 100 while enjoying the twinkle of the stars above and feeling the love. SCP-7000 is one of my personal favorites. Ew. Researcher Scared. Why would your favorite be Dr. Weddle? Loser. Can't imagine Dr. Weddle is anyone's favorite. Odysseus, thank you for your intern Odysseus. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a... Well, don't grab yourself any pork at the commissary. It might not be safe for you. Help, I think I traveled back to ancient Greece. Then how are you getting this briefing? There should certainly not be any cell phone signal back there. Very confusing. Attention chat, do remember if you are in our Containment Hazard Assessment team, there is a blue name. It's a moderator called the Desk of Alto Clef. You should read everything the moderator says to make sure you are not being asked a question, having one of your questions answered, or being warned about breaking a rule. We do not wish for you to be banned unnecessarily because you did not listen to the moderators and did not even know that you were breaking a channel rule. Be safe out there. Thoughts on SCP Wyatt? I intern Maker. I haven't chatted with Wyatt in a while, but the Shower Thoughts videos are very entertaining to respond to, even if the questions can be a little silly. And terrible ideas for tests that would cause a huge waste in resources. But overall, mostly non-objectionable, I believe. Intern Ithaca, thank you for donating again to say. Let's talk my own group of interests for once. What's your favorite Sarkic SCP? My personal favorite is SCP-2408, though as you know I'm an old church Nalkin myself. Some things are too dark and grim even for me. You know, I typically stay out of the Sarkic side of things in my own research, but I can look at their group hub and see if there's anything that stands out to me that I recall enjoying. Known anomalies. Of course, none of them have titles that make my life easier to tell which ones I know and which ones I like. Yeah, by SCP designation alone, I can't think of any Sarkic SCP I particularly like, just because I don't pay attention to them that often. In such a vast SCP Foundation space, they're not usually ones I gravitate towards. My apologies for not having a more satisfying answer. Speaking of having Odysseus in the chat, this just reminded me I finally started playing Hades 2. Not sponsored, but damn, just as good as the first game thus far. Also, Dr. Frogman, I don't know if you played it, but there is a delightful frog pet. And sadly, I can't escape the Containment Hazard Assessment team in my off time, because my first thought was, oh, Dr. Frogman would like that. So, get out of my head! Sheesh. But overall, good times. Intern Ithaca, thank you for donating again to say. I'm a big fan of the anthropological approach to Sarkicism reports. I'd give them a read if you want a less blood and guts take on the group of interest. Anthropological approach to Sarkicism reports. An assembly, an anthropological approach to Sarkicism. Case Study 3, the Dark Water Lodge. Alright, I wonder... there we go. There's 2 and 1, 4. I see. Well, I'll have to find the first one. I'll let you know, just because I have not really focused on Sarkicism does not mean I have anything against it. It's not that I dislike Sarkicism, it's just not that I haven't dug into it. And Metaphysician, the author who, if not invented, then very much spearheaded Sarkicism, dope person and prolific writer on the database, especially of Sarkic works. Oh, Desk is giving me a little bit of intel here from a previous stream. Let me... Oh! I talked to Sim about the other stream where it was brought up that Sim wrote something that 343 was the actual God with a capital G. Sim said this was not true. He wrote another SCP because he disliked 343 so much. So yeah, whoever was in chat said that Illustrated and Sumerian together canonized 343 as God must have misunderstood something. But if you want to read about not liking 343, you can read SCP-2343, codename How I Got to Memphis. That's Dr. Sumerian having a fit anti-343 style. Good for him. How does one acquire jewels? I don't exactly have the funding, so I was wondering if there was a way to get them without money. Intern Zen, I do believe the only way to get jewels is to purchase them through the YouTube app. I do not believe there is a free way to mine jewels and the like. But I could be wrong. It was me, and it's not canon. It's a tale they made. I'll link the video in the Discord to show my work. Thank you, Captain Gilbert. We'll look into that, because Illustrated and Sumerian typically put their videos, or at least the scripts, on the wiki sometimes. And so if they did say that 343 is God, then it could be canon. Because Illustrated and Sumerian together, they're a pretty good canon source, so to speak. But if Sumerian would not do that, then perhaps there was a misremembering, or maybe it wasn't Sumerian, as you're saying. It could have been Illustrated working with someone else, which reminds me, I have to deliver some lines to Illustrated. I better remember to do that next week, set myself some alarms. Spoilers for future collab. Just Another Cisco, thank you for sending a Turn It Up and a Laughing Disco to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will have a comically good dance party, and they will turn it for you. They seem to just appear for me. I've never purchased any, but I have over 2,000. That's very interesting, Sleepless Dragon. I did think the only way to get those gems, jewels, was to purchase them. YouTube jewels are virtual items purchased in bundles by viewers on the mobile app to send interactive gifts during a live stream. Gifts which appears on-screen animations allow fans to show appreciation while creators receive rubies. Providing a new way to monetize, blah, 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 blah. You buy jewels in the mobile app. I don't see anything about getting them for free. But, hey, maybe there's something I don't know about. Sleepless Dragon, thank you for sending a Stay Hydrated to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure y'all need to drink some water. What SCP am I getting assigned to next, Doc? Interesting question, intern Wars Room. So, I do believe on the duty sheet... I need you to feed SCP-8271, codename the Eat the Rich Fish. I'm going to need you to go over to requisitions and requisition something rather expensive. That way 8271 can have a meal. It only eats exceptionally pricey objects. It's a real hassle on the resources, but we gotta do what we gotta do. I have no idea. I do have premium, so maybe it's something to do with that, but I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. Some people are saying they might get some on holidays or something like that. Well, it's something you can probably look into and find out on the YouTube help desk. Are you the original? Are you a copy of yourself? Intern Cisco. I am as me as I can possibly be to my knowledge. I do understand that within the SCP Foundation there is no canon. We do know about the multiverse, and there's all sorts of parallel universes. There's the universe where the SCP Foundations are in a multiversal pirate war. There's an SCP Foundation universe where... just hold on one second. Intern Hyde, Researcher Hyde, whoever you may be, a notification just splashed across my monitor here that you became a Patreon patron, and so thank you very much for your generosity to the Site-42 cause, to keeping the lights on for myself and the other Site-42 staff members like Desk, Synthetic Alien, our editor, and Agent Goose, our animal wrangler, and the rest. We thank you for your generosity, especially on the Patreon, since it's a recurring donation. Much appreciated. Go ahead and grab yourself, you know what? You get a case of the time travel champagne for you specifically. And, you know, you can share it with friends to have the limitless time party. What is that one? 3313? SCP Champagne? 3303, codename Champagne Supernova. A case of that for you, Intern Hyde, and thank you very much for your generosity. Upon checking again, no Sumerian was not credited, so I assume he was not involved in the writing process. My mistake. Okay, that's a good start. I hope you have shared that video in the Discord so we can comb through the transcript and see if Illustrated and whoever else may have co-wrote it with him deigned to deify 343. I'll also wonder if there's any unreliable narratorship we can kind of flaunt, being that there is no canon. Dr. Sherman, do you take stream subject suggestions? If so, I have a few that I can leave in a comment on the VOD. Intern DJ, the answer is sometimes. Sometimes I would say sometimes being rarely. Because usually there's so much news in the SCP community, there's some highlighted article, there's something that catches my fancy, that is the devotion. And I'm kind of like a dog chasing cars, man. It's very often me running around and finding a subject that I'm interested in to talk about. So you can leave suggestions and maybe something will spark that chase. But that's going to be the question at hand here, is whether it inspires me to jump on it. Your rating on SCP Secret Laboratory. Intern Maker, while it was a goofy fun time, it was also extremely chaotic, and as a typical single-player gamer, I find games like that a little too much to keep up with. Maybe I could train myself to play them, but I also don't have the time to do so these days. So, I'm glad people are having fun with them. That's what matters. Star Wars Room. The link to the Discord server is an Easter egg hunt. We don't tell you where it is, but we do give you a hint at the end of stream, which is in approximately 40 minutes. And so if you want to stay till the end of stream, there will be a hint. But we do not tell you outright. It's kind of a way of culling people who are not clever enough to deserve to be there. Furthermore, you have to be the age 18 or older to join the Discord server. That's the same rules as the official SCP Wiki Discord server and the SCP Wiki itself. Because of the extreme violence and sexuality that can be depicted on the SCP Wiki, no minors are allowed to join. So if you are under 18, do not even look for the Discord server, but if you are over 18, then you can go look on that Easter egg hunt and get your hint at the end of stream. So I noticed for the Tales Edition pages, they end at Series 8. Is there a certain number of Tales needed before Series 9 and 10 get Tales pages? You know, that is a great question. Honestly, I'm better that the joke pages don't have a Tales Edition. That's what I want. I want to know how many times the Sun Launcher has been mentioned on site. I want to know all of these different things for the joke SCPs. But, yes, they do need to, I'm sure they'll eventually get to it. Dr. Sherman, what's your favorite SCP? Intern Kang, I always tell you my favorite SCPs at the end of stream as well, so 37 minutes from now, you'll hear, or you can donate to ask, and then I'll just tell you, because in return for your generosity, or you can go to yesterday's stream and watch the VOD and cheat that way. Either way, the SCP favorites will be announced soonish. Dr. Sherman, I'm coming to steal SCP-999. Intern Beecham, terrible idea to warn us of your crimes. You're gonna have a bad time. I mean, even if you didn't warn us, we would have caught you and you would still have a bad time, but now, honestly, probably less, because it seems like kinda dumb might be the outlook here. And so, maybe... I have to consider that. Intern Hyde. Oh, thank you for donating to the Super Chats as well as become a Patreon patron. Thank you again for your generosity. I hope you're enjoying that time travel party champagne. Thank you very much. Sending love and appreciation from Site 134. Well, I certainly hope you guys are doing well over there too. We're having a good day over here at Site 42. And absolutely nothing in the first half hour of this stream will ruin that for us. Totally not. Intern Ithaca, thank you for donating again to say. Get your eyes on those reports soon, Doc, and if you find yourself wanting for more, just ask, I'll get you more to sink those sharp pearlies into. Aye, aye. Intern Connor, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some beefed jerky on your way past the commissary. Just for being epic. Well, thank you for affirming my epicitude. Apparently there is a Jokes Tale page. I'm gonna go find it. Oh, wouldn't that be delightful, Desk? Thank you for the tip. Intern Bratado. Unfortunately, Diddy is not an SCP, and that kind of criminality is not anomalous. Which is very sad. It puts us out of our jurisdiction. That kind of thing, I mean, you saw the Epstein files, you see who's running America. And yes, the SCP Foundation did install SCP-5004-B as the President of the United States, but in our defense, we were trying to fight a giant demon, and we're sorry. Yeah, it just doesn't hit well enough, does it? Hashtag clef for president, indeed, Titanborn. Amber, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a quiche on your way past the commissary if you feel you have the responsibility to handle it. It's been a minute, so your favorite SCPs? Oh, well, there you go, whoever asked, and I said you'd have to wait. Amber has got that for you. So, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on the last one. It is a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5075, content warning on the last one. It's a rough read. Whew. I almost went into the outro. I almost started saying thank you very much for... No, it's not the end of stream yet. Desk. DJ is the one who told you about the Jokes Tale page. Very cool. Can you stop being so entertaining? I need to do things. Intern Stars? No. Shit, 8980 is peak. Yes, it's peak horror. It's peak the worst thing that is one of the worst things the Foundation has done. And covered up and swept under the rug. Yes, it is peak terrible. Yes. Great article, though. I believe it. Kitty Fly, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a cake pop on your way past the commissary. If you press a pin art toy to SCP-096's face while wearing a blindfold or something, then show it to someone, does it get triggered? If you press a pin art toy to 096's face while wearing a blindfold or something, and then show it to someone, does it get triggered? So, what is a pin art toy? I am unfamiliar what you are talking about here. And because of that, I do not know how to respond. Pin art toy. Oh, okay, the little things where you... So, if you got one of these big, old pin art toys, and you pressed 096's face on it... So, here's the deal. Here's the deal. A drawing is obviously an artistic representation. So is a painting. These are the physical media was created by someone who saw the face. And there might be imperfections. a photograph or a video of 096's face, because these are literal physical representations of 096's face, those activate 096's effect. I am not unconvinced that this pin art toy does not count as a physical medium reproducing 096's face. I think it's possible that the pin art toy could activate 096. Now, if you shook the pin art toy and then the pin art toy was moved at all, I think that would not work. But I think if it were a held representation, then you are getting a physical representation of 096's face, more like a picture and video. I'm actually leaning towards yes at but like 51-49 right now. If you're here and you're also thinking about this, get in the comments, tell me what you think. I do see Puppet Boy has a point. It would have to be a perfect press of its face, though. But I mean, you're pressing the pins onto its face. And while we call perfect representation, we're also talking about a photograph with 4 fucking pixels. So you don't have to register seeing its face, and its face can be that small. I'm right in the middle on this, man. This is interesting stuff. I'm so curious that I might authorize a test. This could be really, really important. Very important for sure in our research. Totally not a waste of resources. Chester Factory, thank you for donating again to today's stream. The Joke Series Tail Edition link can be found at the bottom of the Joke SCP list. Really? It's that easy? It's just at the bottom of the Joke list? Tales featuring Joke SCPs. It's right there. Fucking rude. On all the other series pages, it's at the top. Very easy to see. I am offended. And I lobby for the Tales Edition joke page to be linked at the top rather than the bottom. But we can now see the success.
So we have the Broke God. Oh God, the Broke God has more. When Day Breaks Up. What the fuck is that thing? Has 2 tails. Jeff has no tails. That's a crime. The Plague Fellow has multiple tails. Love that. What else? Oh, some of these are just actually linking the legitimate SCPs. That's not as fun. No. It's gotta be joke tales about the jokes. Like this, Modern Major Keter class. Wait, are we Gilbert and Sullivan? This is the very model of an SCP-900 day. Its object class is Keter, so we'd rather that you stay away. So follow to the letter these procedures for its keeping in. A cell at Site 11's what this creature should be sleeping in. The walls are sealed hermetically with 7 layered steel doors each, and anyone who says its name will fill their head with veins and bleach. And any description of 900 day is delicate to say the least. To put it most politely, it's a putrid planet-eating beast. This is great. I am so pleased. This is amazing. Hell yeah.
Hell yes. They even did a pretty good job of the syllables here. I hate it when you're writing a parody song and someone does not do their due diligence in getting the proper syllable readings for the words. You got to be able to, like, certain words and certain syllable breaks. You can't really spread them. Don't like that. But this is doing a good job so far. Do we need to do the rest? I think we need to do the rest. Now here's the thing. I don't actually... bad musical theater nerd. I do not know the full Modern Major General song. So I might need to learn the Modern Major General song in general. Huh? And then I can use it to do this. Its surname's a cognito hazard first initial W. Just say 900J so that its name can never trouble you. In short, a hostile monster that can class a day with X and K. Let's lock it up and let it rot, this SCP-900J. This nasty beast was captured and discovered in a slaughterhouse. Reports arose of disappearance of foreman Stanislaus. Reports arose of disappearances of foreman Stanislaus and all of his subordinates in ways no one could understand. Subordinates. Wow. They're doing a really good job. I'm messing up. They're doing a great job. And all of his subordinates in way no one could understand, with possible involvement of an agent of the Serpent's Hand. Should SCP-900J escape in a containment breach, the world would be blown into bits from London to Daytona Beach. It has no good intentions, and I think of humankind as lunch. It even called my mom a piece of data I will now expunge. To keep this beastie in a box itself is in itself impossible. Though hell if we won't try, cause we're the ones who hold responsible. The keepers of the human race foundation's here to save the day. We're running out of thumb-heels. Can someone kill 900J? We're doing my best. Addendum from the 5th of May. It's gone. We don't know where it went. It vaporized mobile test MTF Delta 10 and told it to get bent. 231 is missing too. The Scarlet King is furious. 682 is terrified, but 999 is curious. I'd hope I'd never see the day that this would trickle out my lips. And 100J intends to start a revolution of the skips. The Overseers Council saying pairs and going underground, and called scenario Alpha K, this planet's gone to Torture Town. Humanity's survival isn't looking very plausible, so light up a 420J and pray for the impossible. Or take some hard amnestics, just enough of them to make you say you never heard of anything called SCP-900J. Wowza! That's really cool. And that's from 2015. And of course, it's written by a hero of SCP comedy, SCP author Dave U. Fool, creator of my homeboy, Dr. Spanko. Dr. Spanko Flex! Hell yeah, Dave. Please note you have to sign in to vote. Why am I signed out? How dare you? Who signed me out of SkipNet? Vote! Vote, damn you! Whew! That was pretty fun. Also, sponsor segment. In case you are unfamiliar, Dave U. Fool has a writing career outside of the SCP Wiki. If you are a fan of the lit RPG genre, as in fantasy books where it is also including a whole lot of D&D tropes, you should check out the series Neverstone. Book 1, The Mad Elf. There are multiple books in this Neverstone series by SCP author Dave U. Fool. And so if you like Dave U. Fool articles, perhaps you would check out and support an SCP author in their non-SCP works. It's good stuff. That was frickin' sweet. I am so pleased for the Modern Major SCP. Thank you, SCP-900J, for being here for me when I needed you. The Modern Major Keter class. Okay. I really need to practice that and get the verbiage and the breast support so I can perform that properly. Because yes, you recorded that thing, but that was just a off-read. That's not even my full power. That's not even my final form. One day. Alright, I saw some Ko-Fi notifications coming in during the Modern Major Keter class. Let me catch up on those. Black Phoenix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. I think you're a member as well, so thank you for that. Thank you for making the effort to donate through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a Cuban sandwich on your way past the commissary. Hello, everyone. I am happy I've begun my testing to get my disability so that I can live my life without any stress about having money and can live on my own. I hope everyone is having a good spring. I hope that works well for you. It is a rough process, to be fair. I have people in my life who have gone through it. I do hope that it succeeds in as smooth a possible manner for you, because the disabled deserve respect and the ability to live lives. We are not so base as creatures that, ooh, the sick one at the back of the herd gets picked off. We can protect our own. You selfish, selfish bastards out there. Lord Dragonic, thank you for donating again to say. Ah, don't need to read this one out loud. Roger that. Java name, thank you for sending 50 promotions to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. If you are present in this Containment Hazard Assessment team as you've gotten said donated promotion, make sure to thank the Java name for your most generous upgrade to staff. Captain Gilbert, thank you for what I think might be your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Slurpee on your way past the commissary. And yes, I did see the tag on Discord. I will have to check that out later on. All right. SCP, guys, please help me with the old man outside my window, and he is summoning worms. Ew, I hate that for you, intern starving. Well, if you are starving and that's not your name, that is a adjective, and your name is actually Intern Waters, perhaps you, maybe eat the worms? How starving are you? Maybe the bald man is there to serve you worms. Have you ever considered that the worm man is helpful to you? Be thankful for the worm man. Lots of protein. You'll be full up just in time. Very good. Help, SCP-106's no clip. Intern Santiago. That has been 106's ability the entire time. Radical Larry goes through walls. We know this. Calm down. Question, is it possible to remove SCP-72? Yeah, I know what it is. I'm glad you redacted it, but that's not good enough. Oh, that thing. Is it possible to remove that from your memory using amnestics? While it is possible to cleanse your memory of that abomination, that only means you won't know what you're dealing with the next time it comes up to you. And I don't know about you, but I want to go anywhere near that fucking thing unaware. I tried to see if I could fix the lag. That should be a temporary fix. I really wish that it would, quit doing that. YouTube and or whatever is causing said glitch. Likes are above the views, says 100 stars. Very good, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You hit the like button enough that it is far beyond the viewers. And when you hit that like button, it means that the YouTube algorithm is forced to do our bidding. And our bidding is to bring more people to Site42 through the Shorts algorithm. And when they show up, they go, what? The SCP Foundation? Does this guy work for the Foundation? That's crazy. I've heard of the SCP Foundation. Maybe I'll ask him a question since he works there. And then that's how we hook them. And that's how we get them to be SCP freaks like the rest of us. And then they and we work together to get bigger and better SCP films, games, podcasts, merchandise, like the Dr. Sherman Site Director Edition plushie. Get it now in the pinned chat, or in the VOD description, or in the chat link the desk is sharing, because we got to get these. You got 20 days left, this one-time printing, then they will never be printed again. And so I thank you, Site 42 Containment Hazard Assessment Team, for liking the stream and spreading our signal. See, a lot of people who are surprised there's a plush just haven't seemed to have been here at the right time during stream. 20 days left, people. 20 days left. I have decided we are going to probably go with the removable lab coat, as that was voted yesterday, if the manufacturer will leave it unsewn on, so that some of you wilder people can change the outfit Dr. Sherman is wearing for good or for evil. $100 stars. Thank you for sending 5 100s to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will keep it 5 times as 100, thanks to your urging. Kabia Q, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some mics, but not Ikes, on your way past the commissary. I believe you dropped this in the laboratories. Oh, well, thank you for returning that. The site budget is so being restricted by the overseers right now that I'd rather not let any additional funding slip through the couch cushions at this point. Not sure which stream, but someone a few weeks ago, after I asked a question, someone asked a really similar, basically the same one, but Sherman gave an answer that contradicted what answer he gave me. Was it in the same stream, or was it a different day later on? Was it a different universe? Was it a different canon? Was it just a slightly different question? Perhaps we'll never know. As a time check, Site 42 staff, there is currently 12 minutes left in stream. 12 minutes. Dr. Sherman, how long until your retirement? Asking for a friend working for a different department. Well, at this point, I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm doing a good job in my role. I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. If they're looking for my job, they better watch out. Intern Kabia Q, thank you for donating again to say. Stop leaving your money in the laboratories or I'll write you up. It causes contamination. You're threatening the site director with a write-up? That's a weird flex. I once looked at a guy in a suit and thought I heard his voice in my head. I was thinking Rick Astley, and then he dropped to the ground screaming, "Make it stop and stop this please, I require help." Hey, listen. He know the rules, and so did you. So, say goodbye. Dr. Sherman, any update on if I can have SCP-999 time? Dr. Wesker, I apologize. After your SCP-999 time last night, you were, in fact, witness to a terrible, gruesome scene on the way out of the hallway, and we had to anesthetize you. So we're currently putting you back in the rota so you can get additional 999 time, but it's, it got bumped a little bit. Intern Kabia Q, thank you for donating again to say. The O5 Council will hear about this. you have a link, a comm, to the O5 Council. You can puff your chest all you want, but interns are not talking to the overseers, that's for sure. Intern Kenobi66, welcome to Site 42 staff, thank you for subscribing. Hey Doc, do you know of the Man in the Suit ARG horror? Intern Dixie, I am familiar with the Man in the Suit, the Godzilla suit situation, or sorry, the Kaiju lizard suit. Copyright infringement. I am familiar with that, although I haven't looked into it too deeply. It was 2 different streams, but it was about reality benders removing all their powers on their own. For them, you were saying it was possible. But when I asked you, you had said it wasn't possible. I wonder if there was a wording in the question, because I remember talking about this once, but not twice. And the paradox, we talked about the paradox of you being able to, God being able to make a stone it cannot lift. And so, can you remove your own abilities? And I don't believe you can do that. Because if you had the ability to remove your own abilities, then you wouldn't have had the abilities to have, you know, it's a chain, it's a circular power argument there. Intern Bravo, nice hair, Dr. Sherman. You're damn right. Thank you for noticing. Just checking, should I expect an email back once Dr. Sherman sees my art after emailing art? Intern Sprite, I do not email back when something is submitted to the Fan Art Friday email. I just collate them at the morning of Fan Art Friday. So... All right, there, the chat is back. How the F are you still live? Well, Intern Opal, we started late today, but we are approximately 5.5 minutes from the end of stream, so last questions request, this is your opportunity. Intern Kibiaku, thank you for donating again to say. 057 is my dad. It seems I have said too much. They are now coming to take me away. Yeah, you're not supposed to reveal the identities of 05s and their families and such for hostage purposes. I mean, the 05s are, to a lot of the younger staff members, a mystery so deep that some interns don't even believe the overseers exist. So, hushed whispers around the site and the like. Tarleton Fox. Hey there, this is Sherman the Frog. We're doing an SCP stream right now. Yay! Intern Kibiaku, I am sorry you seem to be in an X-eyed state. That doesn't seem healthy. And Puppet Boy, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a cheese plate on your way past the commissary. Have you seen the 343-187 cross test, Doc? I may have, but I don't remember what it is right now, nor do I remember what 187 is by its designation alone. 187 is double vision. Experiment log. So to be clear, SCP-187 exhibits a unique form of precognition whereby she sees everything in two states simultaneously. Back in the old days when they were a little more cavalier about terminology and not following proper pronoun parlance protocols, I see. It does not see minor changes, only changes to what could be considered the norm. For example, in testing when presented with 5 D-class personnel and asked which of them would change their clothes, it couldn't answer, as such a change isn't drastic enough. However, presented with 5 D-class personnel and asked which one would be shot, it was able to predict which one every time, as it could see the injury inflicted just by looking at it. So it can see major changes in the future, and then we go over to the experiment log to see what happens. Exposure 343. 187 enters containment with 343. 187 343 appear to converse without incident about general topics for nearly half an hour. 187 stated that 343 appears really nice, if kind of lonely. For a little girl, she's really well spoken. What is she, 6, maybe 7? Increased research efforts into 343 are under review. Why is 343 a little girl? Yes, more research. Definitely. Figure out what the hell that's about. SCP-4051 is the one I think that the Foundation keeps it from believing its powers are greater than they are. Well, yes, Battle Blaster, but we just do that with good old-fashioned gaslighting. That's just standard operating procedure. Don't let the anomaly know how powerful it is so it doesn't rebel and blow us all up. There's only one thing worse than a reality bender. Boom. A child! No! Very good, Puppet Boy. I see what you did there. It took me a while to learn some of the shortened words like UIU, SPC, and GOC, though I picked up on FAF and SPC a little faster because of context clues. Do love me some Shark Punching Center. Not actually interacting with them, but just reading their logs. Their logs are very entertaining. I was a teddy bear and it said it was Keter. I don't care if it's Keter. Intern Santiago, what are you talking about? The only plushie present at this Containment Hazard Assessment Team meeting is the Site Director Sherman plushie. That is the only one that is present. Do not fret about any other imagined plushies. Could a reality warper create a power source for a machine that could remove its abilities? Captain Gilbert, I would imagine that to create something with the power to erase its own abilities, it would have to create a machine more powerful than its own abilities. Because you need to be more powerful than the reality bender to delete its abilities. So unless there's some very complicated Hume-related science that the reality bender is familiar enough with to siphon off the energy in a way to accelerate the Hume values to a manner that make the Humes of the machine greater than the Humes of reality bender, I don't think that's plausible, scientifically speaking. No, Puppet Boy, it's not timey-wimey bullshit this time. It's Humey-woomy bullshit this time. Humey-woomy. Hugh. Woo. I guess you'd say Humey-woomy. But no, it's Hume. Weum. Humey-woomy. It's hard to make that rhyme. Serious question. What do you think of Hume juice, Dr. Sherman? Do not tell the containment hazard assessment team where to find it, desk. Cause all sorts of issues. Are you secretly Thomas Sanders? Intern Coco Nut? Unfortunately, I am not Thomas Sanders or Matt Pat or Bill Nye the Science Guy. I am a completely different theater kid. I get the resemblance, though. It's the volume, speaking with the caps lock on, it's the musicality. I get the resemblance. And Site 42 staff, we are currently at the end of today's stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. But of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be narcissism, cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, there's a list of links. Links that people sometimes ask about in chat, but then they're just not clever enough to find. But not you guys, chat. You guys are the clever ones. You'll find those links. And as of right now, when it comes to supporting Site 42 in future endeavors, the #1 priority is the Dr. Sherman plushie. This is our #1 priority to get these numbers up so that we can successfully print this. There is a floor where if we don't reach it, we can't print it. So this is the #1 way to support the channel at this point, because I want people to be able to get their plushies. So, we appreciate your service if you purchase a Dr. Sherman plush. And we appreciate your support. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Remember, even if you can't buy the plushie, even if you can't donate to Site 42, you can still be a valued member of Mobile Task Force Site 42. Codename the Signal Boosters. Like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, clip, all of that YouTube business, not just for us, but for the SCP Wiki's authors and artists, the animators, filmmakers, game makers, merch makers, podcasters, whatever SCP projects we can support, we do our best so that they are able to make bigger projects, and we keep it all in the SCP family. Amazon and Netflix will never touch an SCP project because they are afraid if they don't own it, they can't monetize it properly. It's up to us to show them there's a way, and we're going to be the ones. We're going to do it ourselves. So I thank you from your service. And yes, Puppet Boy, the Site Director Sherman plush as well as the Researcher Sherman plush both say goodbye to you as well, chat. And so, Site 42 staff, this has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. A pebble in the water makes a ripple effect. Every action in this world will bear a consequence. If you wait around forever, you will surely drown. I see what's going down. I see the way you go and say you're right again. Say you're right again. Heed my lecture. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now as she falls to the ground? Well, I'll tell you, my friend, one day this world's going to end as your lies crumble down. A new life she has found. And last minute membership from Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. Sorry we were ending stream, but Charlie decided that now that she is home, she has to see you before she goes. So give her some love. Yep. That's a good baby. That's a good baby. The Containment Hazard Assessment Team has granted you one treat. Good lunch. Very good lunch. You could take the crumbs. Ate, left no crumbs. Lick my tongue. There. Thank you, baby girl.
I brought you pork bow to rinse that down.
Wonderful. I will enjoy some pork bow to rinse that down. Delicious. All right. Bye, guys.